Is it just me, or it seems to be that social media is a space of 1 week one trouble, or should I say 1 day one trouble, as there's every tendency that there's something new, something fresh to talk about. This is TMI Socials, and I am Oluomo Stevens, here to take you, as always, on the wonderful social media adventure. Now let's kickstart with what happened yesterday in the nation's capital, Abuja, where the United States Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, arrived at the presidential villa for an official visit to President Bola Tinubu. The Secretary of State is in Nigeria as we speak as part of his tour to the West African sub-region. The U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, has assured the country's companies' readiness to partner and invest in the Nigerian economy. Blinken, who is on an African tour, made a remark in Abuja yesterday during his visit to President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa. He says, and I quote, "American entrepreneurs and companies are ready to partner and invest in Nigeria, particularly in the tech sector." He said this while briefing the press after he met with Tinubu at the State House in Abuja. Now let's listen to him verbatim as regards what happened yesterday before we head on to the reaction.
He said, and I quote, "Africa is nothing less than the key to the world's future." I'm here in Nigeria at President Biden's behest, and earlier this week we were in Cabo Verde, in Cote d'Ivoire, and we'll be going on to Angola, because we share that conviction. Africa has shaped our past. It is shaping the present. It will shape our future. The United States is committed to strengthening genuine partnerships on the continent, to work to solve shared challenges, and also to deliver on the promise and the fundamental aspirations of our peoples. Nigeria, as Africa's largest country, largest economy, largest democracy, is essential to that effort. And we are doing a lot of work together already to drive in a positive direction. We're driving climate action as partners in the Global Methane Coalition. We're pushing for a permanent representation.
Now let's move over to your reaction on the social media space. So this user says, "Sir, your embassy is consistently issuing travel guides to U.S. citizens visiting Nigeria to avoid not only northern Nigeria, but also some states in the south. Where then is the trust the investors need to be able to do business in Nigeria? Tell us some other things, Oga, please." Alrighty, now that one is on X. Let's move over to another one here on the same story. Olubumi on X says he was in love with President Tinubu, 2 major reforms, fuel subsidy removal and FX unification. God bless President Tinubu for us. Alrighty, amen. Now this user on X, Gabriel Ninja, says, "Are the companies nameless or faceless? Can we have their name, please?" This one is saying no grief for anybody. Let's have their name. It's not enough to talk. We need action. And finally on the story, this one says, "Liar. The only reason he came here is to propagate American interest. They do not love you, and they have no interest in your well-being. They will tell you what you want to hear as long as you agree to be used. No more, no less. Believe him at your own peril." That's what he's saying there. All right, still just to let you know that he's going to be visiting Lagos State today before he head over to Angola, which is going to be his final bus stop on the African tour. Moving over to another one, another hashtag that trended during the course of yesterday was hashtag Mietiala. Now, operatives of the Department of State Services have arrested the president of Mietiala, Bello Bodijo, over the creation of a vigilante group in Nasarawa State. Now, he was arrested yesterday at the Mietiala's head office, Tundu Malia Cattle Markets, in Abuja Kefi Expressway, Kadu local government area of Nasarawa State. The DSS operatives, alongside some soldiers of the Nigerian army, were said to have stormed the Mietiala's head office close to Goshen Church at about 3:40 p.m. yesterday as they drove up after arresting Bodijo at the gates. Let's see your reactions on the space of socials. Ogun Mayor on X says, good job to the security agencies for their reactive measures, which is an afterthought. Maitiala is known for rascality, lawlessness, proliferation of arms, and all other shenanigans. Alrighty, moving over to another one. Now, Ebuka Nwafo on X says, who is saying the truth here? I think the government needs to allow other ethnic groups to form their security teams, like the Fulani militia. They should be registered with the security agencies, trained and armed like the Fulani vigilante group. That is how to tackle the spate of insecurity in Nigeria. Let them have their own vigilante in Niger, Chad, Adamawa, Katsina, and Sokoto. Allow other communities to have their own vigilante, both at the community and state level. Can we see another reaction to the story? Sunny Angel on X says, DSS is saying the creation of the Normans Vigilante Group could cause violence in the country. The group was not registered with the DSS, the police, or any other security agency, and the group is not recognized by the federal government. While the Normans Secretary says, that is not true. The Vigilante Group is truly registered. It was an invitation by the commander of the 117 Battalion, Kefi. It had nothing to do with Vigilante Group. End of quote. Now let's see another one, if we have another reaction to the story. Okay, now finally on the story, nothing will come out of this arrest, this user says on X. It is simply to manipulate public opinion. Do you think so? I also remember seeing another reaction as regards the story that says after the whole Antony Blinken situation, President Tinubu would just call off, the arrest. Now finally, this one says that this is the best way to start fighting insecurity in the country, because what you didn't resist will definitely persist. Ooh, I see what you did there, glorious son. I would love to say, I love it. Now moving over to another story. So hashtag Plateau State was trending, and it's still trending as we speak on the space of socials. And a quick reaction to what happened yesterday in Mangu local government area precisely. Governor Caleb Mutfwang has imposed a 24-hour curfew on the Mangu local government area of Plateau State, the north-central Nigeria, with immediate effect following the deteriorating security situation within the area. In a press statement, a spokesperson for the governor, Guy Bere, said the decision was taken after consultations with the relevant security agencies and to avoid breakdown of law and order in the local government area. Bere said citizens, especially Mangu residents, are enjoined to comply with the sit-at-home order, while only persons on essential duties are allowed to move within the local government area until further notice. Let's have a glimpse of a trending video that went all over the space yesterday, and we'll move over to reaction.
This is our area. You can see how the place is just burning fire. Everybody's tired. That's the area, that's the Anja. It's getting worse. Terrible. As you can see, this is our area.
All right, let's take your reactions real quickly on the story. So this user says, Governor Mutfwang must ensure that the curfew will not restrict some person's movement, confine them to their homes, and thereby turning them to sitting ducks for those masquerades. Really? The curfew must be strictly enforced across the board. Totally agree with you, Kechiku. Moving over, this one, Alan on X says, curfew has never solved any problem. It proved terrorists quite a window to escape or relocate. What is needed in Plateau now is urgency of actions to apprehend all the criminals, intelligence approach to pick them in their sleep, and persecute the criminals. These things that should be done. Now that's me adding my own bits right there. Moving over to another one, Daniel on social media says, the situation in Plateau State continues to get worse. It is heartbreaking to hear about the family that got burned to death in Mangu local government. The number of lives being lost in Plateau alone is alarming, and this is because the government makes promises but does very little or nothing to ensure tragic events like this don't reoccur. Rest in peace to the victims. Right, now finally on the story, with the unfortunate incident of the crisis in Plateau State into a religious one, we expect the Governor, Caleb Muftuang, to ensure that all North's parts are cleared and secured to avoid the usual deadly reprisals of shocking proportion. Security agents must up their game now. Now is the time for you to do all the bad. And right now, my final one before we move ahead to the final story today. Pels on X says, this is getting out of hand. The suffering is too much. My heart and prayers goes out to Plateau State. Yes, indeed. Now, finally, another dramatic situation happened in Ogun State after the former speaker, I will have to say, because right now he's been impeached. That's Oluomo has been impeached as the Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly. 18 of the 26 members of the State Assembly voted for Oluomo's impeachment at plenary session yesterday. Oluomo was impeached for alleged embezzlement of funds, high-handedness, and related offenses. The Assembly immediately elected a member, Olu Dayasi Alimide, as the new Speaker. Given his maiden speech after the impeachment, the new Speaker asked for calm among members. So after this whole situation happened yesterday in Ogun State, there was a trending video that dreaded the social media space. Let's take a look. Always an unending, wonderful, dramatic situation on the space of social media, I will have to say. Let's see your reaction to this particular one yesterday. Okay, so this user says, politics is a very strange game on Instagram. That's what he's saying there. Another reaction. Jasper on X, which kind Jankara impeachment be this one now? Even the impeachment memo has no state assembly insignia logos accompanying the letter. Nigeria, na real joke. Okay, it's all right. Moving over. This one, still on X. This is good if it is not motivated by political interests. Totally with you on this one. Now let's see. Still on this particular story, he should be investigated thoroughly and made to face the music. All right, now that's all we have on this particular story, and this is how we're going to wrap up TMI Socials this morning. Well, Evans, what do you think about everything? Which of the stories caught your attention?
Well, I'll start with the last one. I know that you are particularly interested. I mean, a female speaker now coming in.
Yes.
It's, I don't know why Nigerian legislators, why they will never learn to do things peacefully. I mean, if you want to change leadership, let it be done peacefully. A situation whereby you are teaching our children, because our children always watch, they see these things.
True.
Of course, they see how our lawmakers behave, how they do all the masquerade fights and all that, just because you need to change a speaker.
And the fact that it's not the first time it's happening.
At all, it's not the first time. It's not the first time it's happening. So this is not, it's not the right thing to be done. I mean, children are watching and they are not learning well. Then the story that has to do with the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, whereby almost about 4 point something billion now is coming to African nations. I'm particularly interested in that. But when the U.S. tell you anything, when they give you something, when they give you one, they'll be interested in
10,000. Really? So you feel the visit is quite sketchy?
Of course. There's always U.S. interest. They always have interest. So they don't give you anything for free.
Okay, but he not only came to Nigeria, I mean, he was Ivory Coast.
African nations, Nigeria is inclusive.
Like 4 of them, yes.
Nigeria is inclusive. So at the end of the day, they have vested interest in all these nations.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how we get to wrap up TMI Socials this morning. Always at an ending one. Thank you so much, Evans, for being here. I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.